Hello, Cotton Branch family. It's Evan here. And Josh. Sorry, I was having issues with the video and it kind of tripped me up. But yes, Evan and Josh, we're here at Cotton Branch. So sorry about the weird intro, but we are talking about something that happened the past 24 hours, I guess, less than that. Yeah. And it's about this guy right here, and his name's Yo-Yo. And for those who've been watching us, I guess all day really, we've been talking a lot about him. Josh, kind of let everyone know like what happened, like from when we first found out and where we are now with him.
Oh yeah, well that's. I talk about that in the video we have.
Yeah.
But basically, Tiffany, our morning caretaker for Sunday, showed up and came to the door and said, "I assume you don't know there's a pig in a crate down the road." I'm like, no. So we walked down and someone had left him in a crate with a few supplies and a note. That's how we know his name.
Yep.
And it was about, quarter of a mile from our entrance against the fence line of the other pigs of our property.
On the road,
yeah. So, had to be sometime, I guess, in the middle of the night. Evan got home from work around 12:15, so... obviously, he was not there then, so
no.
Had to be after that.
Yeah, and Josh will talk a little bit more, and you can see him and kind of know who we're talking about. And we're going to talk a little bit about the situation, why people resort to this kind of thing, and what we're planning on doing. So here is a video with Yo-Yo and Josh.
Hi, everybody. Josh here. And I am with, today's surprise. This morning, when Tiffany, our volunteer Sunday caretaker, drove up, this little man was in a crate right down the road against our fence line with half a bag of feed and a bucket with some produce and his water and feed bowl and a note saying his name was Yo-Yo. He's super sweet. He's in our med bay now in our quarantine area. So we've got to have Dr. Blackwell, our vet, out this week to check him out, and he appears to need neutering. And the note said that the landlord would not allow them to have him as their companion in the home they were renting. And this just really goes to show the point of making sure that you know your zoning and you know if you're allowed to have a pig as a companion. After he was dropped off today, we actually got another message from someone who is having to give up their pig because they didn't know their zoning and their neighbors called about their pig. So please, people, please check your zoning. Please make sure that you can have a pig companion if you're renting. This little man, he was so scared. He had been sitting in the road since at least after midnight because he was not there then. But he's been really sweet. He's depressed and confused. Doesn't know why he's here, do you? I know. But you landed in a super safe spot, buddy. Yes, I know. Very sweet, aren't you? Yes. Oh, what a good boy. What a good little boy. So, everyone meet Yo-Yo.
All right. So that was Yo-Yo. Josh kind of laid it out and what happened and what we're going to be doing. So just to kind of recap, I mean, we are going to make sure he's neutered, which is number one. We have to make sure that is, the thing, because that, of course, really affects his health long term. And also, we can't have an unneutered pig here. And while he's actually getting used to everybody, and he needs to get that pretty soon, because the recovery period is, a couple of weeks for males typically. Maybe not even that.
No,
right?
It's a lot easier.
It's a lot easier.
Yeah,
but it's
but
we still are careful about that.
Well, but we also he will be quarantined for 30 days. So,
yeah.
But after his surgery, he can move into our quarantine area. That's a fenced area that's larger.
Yeah.
And as you saw, he had a lot of flies around him. So I could tell from the indentions in the sand and the way it had come up into his crate that he had been out there for a bit. So that's why I think it was probably the middle of the night. And he had, of course, pooped and peed in it and was laying in that. So, therefore, he had lots of flies when he first came in and I was making the video. So we had to clean him up a little. And, of course, we have fly repellent that's safe for them that keeps them off of him. But, yeah, that's what was going on with that. He was wet and... actually, on his back end, it was a little raw where he was laying against the crate. So that also indicated he had been there for hours at least.
Yeah. And what's the best way to put this? What's really frustrating is this was on a road. Now, we don't have, ditches. We're on dirt roads in our area of South Carolina, really almost sand kind of dirt roads. Yeah. And there is no way for you to pull around if something's on the road. You're going to have to move something off the road or go into a really sandy area and get stuck. Yeah. And he wasn't underneath a tree or anything. He was literally on the road. So that was incredibly worrisome. Him being there for so long was incredibly worrisome. And people resulting to that. And, I know it's a lot of it's really about education, and making sure people know there are other options out there. You don't just have to dump your animal on the side of the road. There are other options out there that can really work. I mean, we've seen it work. There's a great group of people online. There's a great pig community in the Southeast that are definitely willing to help. Yeah. It may not be immediate. It may be immediate. You never know, but it could be. But sometimes it takes a little bit of effort and work to do. But, do you want to speak on anything about that?
Oh, a lot of times when it is an emergency situation, people do respond fairly quickly to rescue animals and give them a home, especially with, like Evan said, the Southeast, there's a lot of pig groups, which we're in, and I actually checked those today to see if he'd even been posted, and he had not in any of them. And, you saw from the video, he's so sweet, and to have gone through what he just went through, being abandoned by his family, sitting on the side of the road for hours, meeting brand new people, coming to a brand new place. To be as sweet as he is with all that he went through, it's, obvious that, I think he would have gotten a home really quickly. And we work to give people those resources when they reach out to us if there's an issue where we cannot take an animal in.
Yeah, and I mean, like lately, we haven't been able to, but we also make this information public too. So you can definitely go to our website, cottonbranch.org. A lot of times you can click on the Contact Us tab, and we pretty much lay out some Facebook groups, different ways you can reach out, how you can actually talk to your friends and family about this. There are other options, and we wish we had unlimited resources, unlimited land, and be able to say yes, but a lot of times we just can't. But with the situation, abandonment is one of those things that's, I almost equate it to the same thing as abuse, the same thing as neglect. It's almost like one of those three things: abuse, neglect, and abandonment. That does a terrible mental, emotional, behavioral thing to an animal when those things happen. And I mean, I know he's going to go through some depression, because he's going to be separated from his family, which is so sad. But this is what we do, and we work with pigs, and he's going to be getting the best vet care right now, and of course thanks to you. And for those of you who've already donated, thank you. If you'd like to donate to him, there is a link in the description on this video. So if you just scroll down to the bottom of the description, we are trying to raise enough money to make sure he's fully vetted, blood work's done, microchipped, neutered. That costs money, and we want to make sure he's completely taken care of. So if you're able to, and you're in a position to, we would really appreciate helping Yo-Yo out and make sure he's good. And he's probably going to be here for a little bit, right? Mm-hmm. Before he goes into the adoption. And I mean, probably a couple of months at least, minimum. Because he just needs to get socialized in a way that's he's used to new people.
Yeah. Which he seems to be adapting very well in that respect. And I mean, going back to what Evan had said with their depression issues, I mean, pigs have the mental capacity and mentality of a 3 to 4 year old human. And so they go through, I mean, we've seen it time and again. I tell people a lot of times when they come from situations that are really bad, they are like relieved when they get here, and they're happy pretty quickly. Whereas when they come from a home where they feel like they're taken care of and loved, they go through a lot of depression and literally go through like the 5 stages of grief that humans do. And that's what I said. I'm like, imagine if there was a 3 or 4 year old child just abandoned by their family. And a lot of people don't realize that, I think, is how mentally damaging it is to them, and how depressing it is to them, and how sad it is for them to be so confused and not know what's going on. What did I do to be left here on the side of the road? And I said in the video there, he had a family that was not supposed to have him in a rental property.
We should talk about that.
And I'm going to talk about that too. Yeah, and I talked a little bit about that in the video. But, knowing your zoning and knowing if you can have a pig where you rent is so important. So, it was obvious as far as looking at him without the vet seeing him yet. I mean, he seems very healthy. Obviously, he's socialized and friendly.
Yeah.
We put him in the med bay. We have a big cushioned bed, and then we have straw. And a lot of times what I've noticed is pigs who are outdoor tend to go and lay in the straw, and pigs who are indoor, outdoor, and have spent time inside the house go to the bed. And he's been on the bed all day for the most part, except in that video when I was petting him. So I think he was probably even indoor, outdoor. So, I mean, he's just a heartbroken little guy right now.
Yeah.
And it's a sad situation all around. But, yeah, people have to make sure that they are properly zoned, and that, if they're renting, that they can have a pig. Yeah,
I mean, like, we really don't even rent out to renters.
We
don't
adopt to renters.
Adopt out to renters. And
due to this situation.
Exactly. And so we don't, and because...
Well, we've been contacted many times by people who have been fine renting a place with their pig and then had to move and could not find anywhere who would rent to them with a pig again. Yeah. So they're searching for a home for them. And it's, again, a sad situation where the pig is paying, such a price, emotionally speaking.
Yeah, and I mean, like, we live near towns and cities that don't allow pigs.
Right.
Columbia town limit, or city limit rather, you can't have a pig. Period. Full stop. They will make sure that you surrender that pig to animal control. Yeah. So same thing with some other towns around us. So you have to know, absolutely, if you're even able to. I mean, it's not like having a dog or cat when it comes to some of these laws. And so that's something that you definitely need to check. And if you're wondering how to check, you can definitely send us a message. I mean, we do this all the time. There's different ways to check. The easiest way is by calling your local animal control office and ask if you can have a pig in your area. And they'll tell you.
Yeah. That's when we first got Oliver back in 2011. I mean, that's exactly what I did. Is I called our animal control and spoke to the supervisor to make sure that we could have a pig.
Yep.
And ironically and oddly, with Charlotte being like 10 times the size of Columbia, it's legal in Charlotte to have them as an indoor-outdoor pet or an outdoor companion. And they literally come to your property and check to make sure you have proper housing outdoors for them, and you get a permit if you're keeping them outdoors only.
Yep.
So they do a great job with their animal control there to make sure of that, and there are a lot of places that do that.
Yep. So yeah, we wanted to really tell everybody what's going on, what happened. For those of you who are just joining, we're talking about Yo-Yo here. He was dropped off on the side of the road. Thankfully, we noticed him, and we were able to get him to safety and make sure that he's going to be vetted, and he's going to get the proper blood work done, and he'll be in our adoption program, and all thanks to you. And yes. So we have a goal that we're setting right now as 1,500, and that will cover pretty much everything that we need to go through, because he cannot go into any sort of herd at any moment. Because we don't know if there's any type of immunocompromised situations that could actually affect some other animals. So we have to do some, separation and a lot of different things to help him. And so if you go to the link in the description, scroll down to the bottom, and you can click on the link, and it's a PayPal link. You can donate through PayPal, or you can donate with a credit card. You don't have to have a PayPal account, so it's whatever works. And we really appreciate everyone who has been able to donate for him. But yeah.
And one thing I wanted to say too is, like, the road that we're on, our entrance and where he was left is not the main Cotton Branch Road. It's our other Lightwood Knot address where you actually pull into our property. It's that road, and people don't drive down that road unless they're coming here or they're going to and from their house.
Yeah.
That road also has 3 other ways to get out. There's literally only one person who lives between the corner where he was and us, the next road. So probably, honestly, like one person would come down the road other than us.
Yeah.
And so he could have been out there. I mean, thank goodness it was a Sunday and Tiffany comes out on Sunday mornings, because had I been doing the feeding this morning, for example, we wouldn't have been off the property until the afternoon to run any errands or do anything.
Yeah.
And we didn't have any volunteers coming out today other than Tiffany. So, he could have been there in the heat in this crate in no shade in the road for hours and hours and hours longer than he was. So thank goodness that she was coming in, because that could have led to dehydration and a lot of other health issues. So I'm really thankful that she was coming in this morning.
Yep. And it was just not a good situation, but you guys are making it a better situation. And we're so thankful for our Cotton Branch family. Thank y'all so much. But we don't want to make too long of a video here. But we wanted to just remind people of two things that are coming up. We have our volunteer day this weekend. We will be working on a few different few different things. Projects, yes. Very good talk right now. And then we also are working and doing a Pints for Pigs the next day, which is going to be a food truck near the farm, and it's called Pints for Pigs. And it's going to be a really great time for everybody. And so you can go to cottonbranch.org or go to our Facebook page. You can definitely check out all the stuff there.
And if you come to Volunteer Day, you get to meet Yo-Yo.
Yep. So if you want to meet Yo-Yo and give him some love, obviously as soon as the vet clears him of that, we will be able to. But yeah, definitely come out this weekend, and you can check on our website on how to do that too. So Lynn says she can't see a link on the bottom. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you guys in the chat I'm just going to type it in for you all. And that way we can make sure it's there. So while I'm doing that, Josh, so on Volunteer Day, just can you talk a little bit about some of the stuff that we're trying to do while I get that link for everyone?
Sure. We're going to be working on some general cleanup, some wallow maintenance. We have a new area that, due to erosion, we really needed to plant it, but it ended up being a perfect area for planting because it's between a couple different herds, and we'll be able to rotate the pigs out through there to graze on grass, and it'll also solidify the land to keep it from eroding. So we're really excited about that. We may be working a little in there. And then probably a little fencing. We have a couple gates we would like to change out. We used to have some super heavy gates because if everyone remembers Pokey, who roamed the alley and lived in Pokey's alley, and he was a huge guy, so he would bend the regular gates, so we had to get the toughest, strongest bull gates is what they're called, so like 2,000-pound cows can ram them. And we don't need those anymore now that Pokey passed away a couple years ago. And so we need to replace them with some lighter gates because it's starting to wear down on the fences. So that's another thing we'll be doing. Is working on those. So, but yeah, maybe even some painting if the weather's really nice.
If the weather's great, which we need the paint. Oh, geez.
Yeah, there's definitely some sun-faded buildings.
Excuse me.
That need some touch-ups. Yes.
Yeah. So. It's going to be good. So, y'all, if you're able to come help out this weekend, we're really excited to have our Volunteers Days again. It's going to be, I think, hopefully, going in through the fall and into the winter. And so it's going to be really nice. But I did go ahead and threw in that PayPal link for Yo-Yo's vet care and everything that we're going to be doing to make sure he is fully healthy and ready to be adopted. So definitely check on that link. But we hope... this was informative, y'all. I know it's a little late on the East Coast, but we hope y'all having a great rest of your day. We will talk to y'all probably tomorrow and give you an update on Yo-Yo, and we'll see. But, yeah, y'all have a great day. We'll talk to you later. All right?
Thanks so much.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.